Look, if you've ever tried traditional manifestation or daily affirmations, you absolutely know that deep, lingering frustration when they just flatline. In today's explainer, we're diving into a really fascinating dynamic. It's the tension between a burnt-out skeptic, someone who has tried literally everything and is just completely exhausted by the lack of results, and an analytical expert who comes in with a wild claim. The problem isn't your vibration, it's actually your grammar. So instead of relying on mystical explanations, we're going to look at the failure of affirmations purely through the lens of linguistics and psychology. And trust me, it completely changes how we think about self-talk. So let's start right here. Does saying I am wealthy actually feel like a lie to you? It's a remarkably common scenario, right? You're standing there in front of your bathroom mirror, or maybe lying in bed at night chanting, "Money flows to me easily." But instead of feeling this rush of empowerment, doing this often triggers a deep, quiet internal whisper that immediately snaps back and says, "No, you're not." It's that subtle cringe, that immediate internal rejection when you try to force your brain to believe a statement that your current reality just doesn't support. And that disconnect creates what we call the pain stack. Think about it. You force an affirmation saying, "I am confident," but your undeniable physical reality in that moment is sweating hands and intense anxiety. Or you're desperately chanting, "I am successful," right before you log in to check a nearly empty bank account. You say, "I am worthy," but you can barely look yourself in the eye. Honestly, the sheer exhaustion of filling up endless 369 manifestation notebooks with these statements, getting absolutely zero results, and then just being told by gurus to believe harder, it creates massive psychological friction. Well, here is where the analytical perspective steps in and completely validates all of that exhausting pain. This internal resistance, it's not because you have a quote-unquote low vibration. It's not a lack of belief. It's actually your subconscious fact checker. This is a very real mental mechanism that immediately flags and rejects present tense statements that contradict what you are actually experiencing in real time. And here's the kicker, the really insidious part. Every single time your subconscious catches you in one of these lies, it actually reinforces your old identity. By trying to force an affirmation, you are accidentally cementing the exact mindset you were trying so hard to escape. Okay, so what's the paradigm shift here? Simply put, the method is broken, not you. It is entirely a grammar problem. The issue lies squarely in neurological linguistics. Your subconscious mind simply does not understand or accept the phrase, "I am wealthy," when your physical environment proves otherwise. It strictly requires a very specific grammatical structure. It needs a structure that bypasses that internal fact checker completely because it cannot logically be rejected. So it's not about believing harder, it's about changing the literal syntax of how you speak to your own brain. To actually fix this grammar problem, the expert suggests a highly specific sensory visualization. Let's walk through it. Step 1 is to jump exactly 90 days into the future. You aren't pretending this is happening today. Step 2 is feeling the calm certainty of a bank deposit. You're replacing that usual morning dread with a feeling of normalcy, maybe visualizing a specific lifestyle view right out of your window. And step 3 is highly tactile, smelling the interior of your new car, sitting in the seat, feeling that it is undeniably yours. You aren't trying to force belief here, you are simply imagining a future scene, almost like a movie playing out in your mind. Which brings us to the exact phrase that unlocks this whole concept. It's called the quantum tense jump. Listen to how this sounds. I am in the fulfilled state of having received financial freedom. When you use this exact grammatical structure out loud, an immediate shift happens. That internal resistance, it vanishes. You don't feel that quiet whisper calling you a liar anymore. That visceral internal cringe is just gone. So structurally, why is the shift so powerful? Well, if you claim a present tense lie, your subconscious immediately swats it away with a shield. It says, nope, not true. But claim a future memory state, your subconscious readily accepts it. While your brain instantly rejects blatant lies, it easily takes on new states. By saying I am in the fulfilled state of having received, you bypass the fact checker entirely. You give your subconscious a specific state to occupy, rather than a lie to fight against. Honestly, it makes total logical sense when you break down the mechanics. Applying this is surprisingly straightforward. The protocol asks for just 11 minutes a day to practice engaging with this specific grammatical structure. You maintain it for 21 days total, and the ultimate goal is to seamlessly operate from a completely new identity. This short, focused daily practice is designed to shift you from desperately hoping for results to calmly expecting them. You're basically just instructing your subconscious until that expectation becomes your new baseline reality. Even after just going through a brief visualization and reading the quantum tense jump sentence once, skeptics often report a very tangible reaction. It's called the 10% shift. A genuine shift occurs where that stubborn internal resistance finally drops. Compared to the exhausted frustration of being told to just believe harder, this neurological grammar fix offers a tangible, mechanical reason why things weren't working before. And more importantly, it explains why this new structure actually feels fundamentally different in your body. Now, just to report impartially on the source material we're analyzing today, for those wanting to dive deeper into the actual mechanics, the creator bundled this into a system called the Complete QTJ Manifestation Codex. It includes an AI reality script generator, which is actually designed to write these grammar-perfect scripts for you in just 3 seconds. The system also includes 3 subliminal frequency audios, a 5-video masterclass that really breaks down the technique, and a 24-hour money manifestation code utilizing an action-verb sequence. Curiously, the complete package is currently in a beta launch phase for just $17. The reasoning behind this is to gather documented proof and success stories before the price inevitably scales up to $47, $97, and eventually $197. It's positioned simply as a low-barrier test. It's for anyone curious if this grammar fix might work better than the endless, useless notebooks they've already filled out with traditional affirmations. Which leaves us with a rather provocative question to wrap up today's explainer. Are you the kind of person who acts on what actually works? Will you stick to comfortable but broken methods that constantly trigger your subconscious fact checker? Or will you curiously experiment with a logical grammar fix that completely rewires how we approach self-talk? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me today, and remember, watch your words because your subconscious is definitely listening.